guys, welcome back to Redcat RC. I'm Cam, and today we're diving a little deeper into the Redcat RDS builder's kit. So I've had this on track already, and made a video on kind of my initial impressions, what I first thought, and really the only gripe were the ball cups and then the steering geometry. So what I've done here is I actually took the stock plastic hub off the Redcat RDS because I had replaced the knuckles on there. So these are just plastic knuckles, and I played with a bunch of orientations of flipping them and running them on different sides, running the toe arms under the gap versus over the gap for bump steer tuning. My lower arms here are the Redcat lower arms, and then standard turnbuckles with the Yokomo cups on there. I also added my own aluminum hex to the wheel to kind of narrow the offset just a little bit. Like I said before, I like to run a wider offset wheel. And then right now this scrub radius looks kind of huge, but I'm going to try it out and see if it's better or worse, and that's how I find out these things. I'm not saying it's the thing to do or anything, I'm just testing this out because I wanted to see if this kingpin inclination would benefit or not, and then just use the Yokomo cups with these balls. So I'll bring those to the track with me to test out. Right now I'm playing with different springs, so I have the Redcat medium spring pack. So I'm going to go with the yellows, which are the medium hard, and then the yellows will be on the front. And they're still way softer than these stock springs. And then on the rear I'm going to go with the green, which is the medium spring, I guess. I also have the reds, which are the stiff spring that I can test out if I feel like I need a stiffer spring on either the front or the rear. So I did take the Yokomo bladders out. They didn't work like I thought they would. The stock bladders are back in the shocks, and the shocks are good. I mean, they feel nice and smooth, no root. I think that's one of the better parts, is to have an aluminum bodied shock come in a kit like this. So that was super nice. Other than that, the rear end felt great when I drove it. It has tons of grip, in my opinion, with how it's set up here. And I only put the motor in this position because that's how I tend to run it on all my other chassis. My MD1, kind of like slightly lower and not all the way up over the back axle, because when the weight transfers back, I feel like that momentum's pointed right at the rear axle there. So that's just kind of my braining, I guess. These are all ideas, so nothing's like correct or proper. I've also driven cars where it's a low motor, and I've really enjoyed that position. So that's something that's nice with the motor mount on this chassis, is that you can play with all those different motor positions to see what you prefer in your driving. So yeah, that's what's going on today. So I'm gonna go ahead and get these springs kind of tuned and set up on the car, and I'll get some clips of that once they're on. Alright, thanks. I got the Redcat springs on, and they definitely helped out a bunch. I can actually wind some preload into them to fine adjust the ride height here, but the droop is just about perfect, and then it's pretty low, so maybe I'll play with that more once the body's on and it's at the track. And then same thing on the front. I think I still need to correct this angle from which the shock mounts at the bottom of the arm here and to the top. So I don't know if I can possibly do something different with the shock tower there. It will only because it integrates the arms, the upper arm mounts. So I did put both the spacers in the front to bring the caster back, and you can see they are slightly offset. So I'm going to go ahead and test that at the track and see how it feels. You know, if it's worse, I'll take those springs off, and if it's better, I'll leave them on. So it's kind of how I go about tuning. And yeah, so I'm trying to insert some clips of the Redcat RDS ripping around, so enjoy.